Hello everyone. Are we live?
Yes, bro.
Hi Karthik, how are you?
Fine, bro. How about you?
Great man, great going. I hope everyone is safe out there.
Yes, bro.
Hey, no spec gamer. I
Yeah.
know your I don't know your actual name, but
One sec, one sec. Just give me a second. I'll turn on cam. Hi, hi.
hey,
Uh,
hi.
how are you? I'm Sham actually from the YouTube comments.
Yeah, hi
Shyam
Sham.
Milay.
Yeah. Have others joined as well?
uh,
We'll wait for some moments.
Yeah, let's wait for 5 minutes and then we'll get started.
yeah. Okay.
I can see few comments coming up.
Can you know what exactly the stream is about? That's possible.
I can see few folks who have joined in. Let's wait for a minute and then we'll get started.
Okay, okay.
And this is the first time experience for me as well. So apologies if something screws up. I can see few more comments coming up, and I think we are good to go. So let me just introduce all the contributors of Coding Decoded GitHub repo. So I have with me Karthik, I have with me Sham, who has been actively submitting LeetCode daily solutions in various languages. Although I invited few more others as well, but due to some reason they couldn't come up. But no worries, I have lot other folks who have joined in. And I have Deepal as well. So let's add Deepal too. Hey Deepal, how are you? Deepal, I'm audible.
It's muted.
Hey,
I
hi. Hi, team.
mute.
How are you guys?
Deepal, I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
am I audible, guys?
Yes,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Yes, you are audible.
Awesome. So the thing I want to talk about today is consistency. So most of the time, we all of us are preoccupied in our day-to-day activities, and we don't get time, and we at times we can't prioritize the lead code daily challenges. So what is the way to out there? How can we actually be consistent so that we get abreast with all the concepts that are needed for DSA algo for cracking the coding interviews? How can we do that? The main agenda of today's session is about that. Secondly, I want to I want to sensitize you guys that if you really want to have a good command, or if you're aiming for Google or Facebook, then consistency is a key. Like I am pretty sure that Amazon, Microsoft, or even Adobe or any other company for that matter, all of them are pretty easy to crack. But if you're specifically aiming for these two companies, Google or Facebook, then you have to be really consistent. There is no way out there that without being consistent, you'll be able to get through any of these uh, two companies. And I hope that all of you have set those as targets, because all we need in life is something that we enjoy doing, and in doing tough things, we'll get the most benefit out of it. So I hope all of you agree with me. And I also want to thank to sensitize this in all of you. Let me just share my screen with you guys. Is my screen visible?
Oh, it's loading. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
So there's a special gift for all those developers who have been actively contributing to the Coding Decoded community. So this is the GitHub repo of Coding Decoded community where we actively daily post solutions in various languages. So if you go and check for February month, you will see that there have been developers. I code in Java, and the rest of the developers are among you guys. We have C++, we have Kotlin, we have Python, and we have Swift. So if I go and check the statistics, starting from January 2022, so approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Apart from me, 7 other folks have started contributing to the channel, and I hope this activity really helps you guys build consistency. The best part today that I'm gonna offer you is one of the developers out of you seven, will get an Amazon gift voucher. And now the question comes: how can we decide that winner? So, any suggestions out there?
I guess just put our names in a random generator and whichever comes in is the winner.
Awesome, awesome. That's I wanted to hear from a coder. That not use any UI tool. Let's code it out. So we are on exactly going to do the same thing. Let's write a Java program, and I'll let's use a random generator to generate the winner of the session today. So let's get
Okay.
started with it. Chandar, definitely you'll get a card after that. The winner will tell me the Gmail ID, and I'll send the Amazon gift card to that person. So let's go to Coding Decoded repo. I thought we should make it as interactive as I can, and go to let's create a new folder out there. Winner, and let's write a very simple program. Decider for Java, and let's write the static void main. And in case I make any mistakes, guys, is my screen visible to you? What
Yes,
I'm
yes.
coding right now? Awesome. So let's define random dot random new random. I think you guys are aware of all of this. And what we can do, let's how many folks are there? 7 folks are there in total. So let's generate an ID, winner ID, and random dot next int. Let's pass in 7. Let's pass in 8 to it. Let's write a switch case uh, on the winner ID, case 1. Case 1 would be let's shoot for the one that who has made most of the commits, and that's Karthik. Karthik codes in Python. Am I correct, Karthik?
Yes, bro.
System.out, println, Karthik is the winner. And after this, we'll have a Q&A session where you can ask me any of your doubts or anything that you want me to answer, especially with respect to any of the coding interviews or interviews in general. The next one is Pranav. Let's make it case 2. Ideally, I should have written it before, but didn't get time for it.
It's fine. It's
Next, we
fine.
have Jam. Next we have Deepal. Next we have Himankit. Shobhit and Saurabh. Default cases, I am the winner. And I think we are good so far. So shall we run this up? Let's add some delays in between, a counter or kind of a thing, so that it doesn't run too fast. So even before starting this, let's write a while loop and let the thread sleep for 10 seconds, and then we'll get to know the winner. Why am I not getting this thread dot sleep? Are we good? Guys, are we good?
Yes.
I think it should work. So the first one, in the first go, let's try this up whether the function works or not. And in the second one, let's shoot it up. How do I run this? Why am I not getting the way to decider? To decider. You should have an option to run this up, right?
I have not used IntelliJ. I use VS Code, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Let me just use some other repo where I have the rest of the libraries there. Any guys, I'll need some help there. Why is it not showing an option to run? Can we use it online somewhere?
I think Decoded will work with Java.
Any help in the comments?
Return type missing.
Yeah, make it main. I think you have to make the main class as main instead of decider. No, the class name. You have it as decider, right? I think you need to make it as main.
Okay. Shall we do it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, there's some errors. Oh, sorry. I think I'm a little nervous. One error. I get started.
Void.
Decider should be void.
Oh God, what's wrong?
Without import, I guess. Random utility.
Your RAM.
What is the import for random guys?
Mm,
Should be Java.
Can someone tell me a good way to run it online? Okay, I think this will work.
This, I think you have to import random, import java.util.star.
Java
I think
util.
But where is the random package located?
if you put
Java.
java.util.star, I think it'll take care of that.
That should work.
Break.
Case.
I think it's happening out of
But
nervousness.
duplicate. No, no, it's duplicate. Multiple case twos are there.
Okay. Sorry guys, sorry for the interruption. And one, oh, we have run out twice. Are we good? So let's start.
But
How do we make sure thread dots leave? Pauses, it's fine.
Throws interrupted exception. We have to
Okay,
throw.
now let's try this. Should be throws.
throws.
Oh,
Decide.
oh God.
Okay, they are also throws.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are like running debugging as well.
No, I think that public static void main does not need throws,
Yeah,
but we put that in try and catch, I guess.
let's put this under try catch. Okay. I hope this time it works.
Count. A.
Oh, Deepal, you are the winner, man. Congrats.
Congrats, man.
I think that's trial one, right? We were going to try the first one.
No, this is the final. Let's shoot for
That's
it. Like
fine.
we already invested a lot of time in it. But heartiest
Definitely.
congratulations to you. And the gift is not that big in terms of money, but use it wisely. Buy something that you think will help you in this coding journey.
Definitely. Thank you.
And guys, do you have any questions for me? Apart from building consistency using this GitHub repo, I would also like to encourage you guys to start giving interviews. If you have been associated with the channel from quite some time, then it's high time we need to muster all the courage that we have, and don't think about what's going to happen when you will be there, whether you'll get through or not. The most important part is you try and apply for it. At times we fear that we'll not get through, but there's nothing to lose, guys. What In whatever company you want to apply, whatever job profile you want to apply, do it right away. There is no right time for it.
Yes.
So I think you'll take that advice, and I want to see more applications coming in. Even for Adobe, if you want to do that, yesterday I shared the posting links. It would be really helpful if you're interested in applying any of the profiles there. I can refer you up. So to start with, Adobe may be the place. And apart from this, if you think, find people on LinkedIn, tell them to refer you up, and definitely they'll be happy to do it. There is no harm in posting a message to a friend or acquaintance on LinkedIn and telling them to for asking for the referral. It's absolutely fine.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. Like I have
And
a couple of questions. If you are done, like I
sure,
can
sure,
ask.
sure, we can go for it.
Yeah. So like I'm iOS developer. So kind of interview that I faced like till now it was like complete iOS rounds. Uh,
Hmm.
I haven't solved data structure and algorithm so far. Like so frequently, like if you see the GitHub graph or the lead code graph, the green dot that makes me very happy. Like if I go and see your channels, you have been really consistent. I think you are already ready for the Facebook. But my question is like, I'm coming from the service-based company, right? So, like data structure and algorithm is fine. I can understand that. Interviewer is basically checking my problem solving skills. But the part of system design I don't understand why exactly, because I am a mobile application developer. Like
Hmm.
a high level system design I can understand, like what is the frequency caching and everything, but
Hmm.
I don't understand what is the point of view of asking like system design to mobile application developer. So
Okay,
yeah.
so that totally depends upon what kind of application have you applied in your next company that you're looking for. If that is not the UI side of it or the Android side of it, and if it's the server side development, then they can definitely gonna ask you the lower level design. Why? Because it actually makes sense to check your competence in the language you are coding in. If you are not well abreast with the language constraints, and how do you formalize the design of your algo, that's a place or a mist where you have to cover it up so that you're good at low level designing as well. So if you will apply for the client side jobs wherein you are doing Android development, I'm not very sure that they're going to ask you low level designs too. But if you're applying for the server side development, definitely that's going to be one round on it. And
Got it.
also it depends on, if you're applying for a senior profile, then definitely it's going to be another reason
Yes.
for them to check on your low level design. So as soon as you progress up the ladder, lower level design becomes important. Even if I'll apply, I'll definitely get a low level design. So
Got the point.
I hope
Yes.
that answers your question.
Yes. Yes.
Any other question, guys?
Yeah, I have a question. Like,
Hmm.
generally, when you encounter questions in contests, right? So it's either like people are generally I'll be able to solve easy or the starting level of medium. That is the first or second question, and
Hmm.
with third and fourth question, it actually gets harder. But for easy
Hmm.
and medium, you can somehow figure it out by doing brute force, right? So how do you approach like hard level questions? What is your thinking process from like going from like brute force to optimal? Like how
Okay.
do you figure out uh, how to solve
When
the question basically?
when it comes to lead code contests, there are four questions that all of us know. The first one is pretty easy. If you're just the beginner, then that question you will be able to solve that question. Now comes the second question, which is the medium level question. The first medium level question is not that tricky. That's
Yeah.
also somewhere in between easy to medium category. The third question that comes in, if you are a beginner or on the intermediary level, then it could be a catch for you to do it. And the last one, which is the hard question, it is usually the amalgamation of two or more concepts that they bind together and make a question out of it. So covering all the concepts of DSA algo will help you get through that hard question. In case because what I have seen from my past experience is either union find with bit manipulation or a DS or the graph manipulation problem mixed with some other concept of dynamic programming. Usually it's a mix of two deep concepts that gets applied, and usually those are not that very hard, something new on the table. It's just the mixture of two or three concepts that they merge together and form a question. So unless you haven't deep dived into all the concepts, hard questions can be tricky for you. And most of the people online would have told you always ignore the easy questions. Don't go for them. Those are really simple. What I have learned in my career is you should definitely go for the easier ones. Why? Because if you're not able to solve those easy questions, then the medium or the hard questions will never be solved.
Yes. Yes.
We can only build the core concepts using the easy questions. And in case the question is very easy, don't go for the brute force approach. Always try to think of a better way out there, whether it exists or not. Just give yourself a thought, can I do something better for this question? And then only you'll get to you will yourself improvise on how on your thought process and the thinking ability.
Okay. Got it. Got it. And I have another
Any
question.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
yeah. How is your car? Is that good? Because your
Yeah,
car got
that's fine.
damaged.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. We got it replaced.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure. Any
Um,
other
I,
questions, guys?
I have one question.
Yeah, sure, Karthik.
Is system design is important for freshers?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Definitely. If you are a fresher, then consider 3 rounds of DSA algo rounds, and the fourth round, if it happens, that would be a managerial round, and that person will be interested in the projects that you have done in college or any hands-on experience that you had.
Okay. Um, if I don't have any projects, I don't develop any projects in my college, but I have DS DS knowledge.
Mhm.
Is there enough?
No, I that so have something on the table that will act as a brownie point. So don't go with a blank resume that you have not done anything. That will be a negative side to it, even if you're good in DSA. So you should have some pointers on your resume that you had experience or expertise in this domain, or you even tried for it. Nobody's gonna check your project. How did you perform or what did you do? But at least you should have something because
Mm.
uh, that will give them a topic of conversation and your thought process. How do you think with respect to that project? So at least have one thing on your one project or anything that you did under mentorship of someone else, maybe your senior, maybe your fellow mate. That's necessary
Yes,
because
just add on to that. Just try to contribute to open source project, even
yeah.
if it is a small UI bug or anything. Because if you contribute to that repository, you have add on that particular organization logo on your profile page, right? So whenever the recruiter is trying to reach you, it would definitely check out your GitHub profile, and it has your big company's logo. Then it would definitely interest. Like it is brownie points, as Sanchit has said. So yeah, try to contribute, even if it is very small. But see online repository, check if you have a couple of, or you can create the repository. Like the coding Decoded has created one repository, and we are trying to contribute, right? So that repository already has so many contributions. So try to contribute with a small contribution.
Okay.
Yeah, and one more thing, like whatever project you have, link it on your resume, because they'll that's the only way to show proof that you have done a project. Like, you can put any project, but to show host it somewhere, that's how they'll come to know that it's your project. Or and either whether it's a GitHub link or whether it's a website, just host it, and then that'll add value. And you need projects, because that's what they'll ask you in technical rounds. Otherwise, like, you can get through DSL go, but at one point they'll start asking you projects.
Okay.
Uh, let's just walk through the comments or the questions that people have posted in the comment section, and then we can conclude. Uh, Trevor Phillips has questioned how much time each project is asked in an interview for freshers. So, if you're specifically looking for the time duration, uh,
Okay.
how much time each project is asked in an interview for freshers?
I can probably take that. I just had few interviews. Like,
Sure.
it depends on the project. So some projects might, like, generally be at least expect at least half an hour, because like first they'll ask you all technical based questions. Then after that they'll start asking you if you had done it in a group or not, and then if you had faced any issues, how did you counter the issues and all. So it'll be like an overall knowledge about your project, and if in the case you work with any other person, if not, also they might ask you some questions. It'll be like a combination of tech and, like, you could say management, that kind of round. So it'll be expect a decent amount of time, because technical rounds will last as long as your projects hold good. So yeah.
Also, if you are in undergrad, I'm sure you will have a major or minor to build, right? So, Abhishek has proposed that in whatever subject you are doing your major, use it to your advantage. You have to make a choice in college what major projects to take in or major subjects to take in. So, use those on which you are inclined to. Align with those peers in college who have a similar direction as your interest is. That's going to really help you upscale and grow in the industry. So finding a good peer in college is also important. And there are a few other questions. How to Chandra Shekhar has asked how to practice topic wise or difficulty wise. Lead code does provide you a topic wise distribution of questions. If you are a beginner or at intermediary level, I would suggest go for the easy questions first, get the confidence, and then move on to the medium questions. What you can do, you can sort on the basis of acceptance rate. So if I'm starting right now, I'll go for the easy questions that have most acceptance. Then I'll move on to the less acceptance rate questions under the easy category, and I'll sort them in the basis of top-down approach. So I can show you this right now. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So if I want to look at the questions of DFS search and I'm a beginner, how will I go about it? So lead code provides you to sort on the basis of difficulty. And under difficulty, I'll probably shoot for the one that has the maximum hit ratio or the acceptance rate. That means range sum of BST is solved by 84% of the folks, and it's an easy level question. If I'm looking for building confidence, then I'll look for the easy questions with higher acceptance rate. If I'm looking out for testing my knowledge or my expertise that I have built, then I'll shoot for the one which are under the medium section or have lower acceptance rate. So you have to find the right set of questions which you are prepared during this journey of building good concepts of DSA algo. You have to recalibrate yourself at different times in this journey throughout. So that's also very important. You have to testify yourself whether you're doing well or not. Also, you have to check. You have to keep on building confidence. How can you build confidence? By solving those questions which you are actually able to solve. For example, let's take a case where you start from a hard question and which has very low acceptance rate. Nobody on earth can teach you how to solve this particular question which has least acceptance rates in the first go. So as a beginner level, most of the folks try to attempt such questions and they lose out confidence. Then they think that DSA algo is out of their control, which should not be done. I hope you got the advice. And uh, any other questions, guys? I think we are good. Any other questions, guys, that you want to ask me up? Please type in those in the comment section. I think we are good now. Uh, I think Divesh has a question. How can we revise the already solved questions in lead code? Is that I should make notes or save it somewhere? Okay. What we can do, we can simply we can simply uh, like daily lead code challenges does help you in revising those questions up. Also, so I would want you guys to maintain the consistency, and you will be able to cover a lot of topics if you are doing or solving the daily lead code challenges. Apart from this, what I used to do when I used to prepare for the coding interviews, I used to create a list here. So there's an option on lead code where you can create your private lists. So let's have a look at that feature as well, which I found pretty interesting. Where do we get list?
Add to list. I
Add to
think
list.
there's like button.
Yeah. So these were the lists that I created when I was preparing for one of the target company that I had. And for example, so once I have added this, you'll see that do some questions will be added to the two pointer approach, and I can view those lists as well. There's an option there. Along with this, there is a special option to add notes in the questions. So if you want to if you find a question that is interesting in nature, you can simply add a comment here that this needs to be revised, or the concept, the underlying concept is pretty important. That's going to really help you when you're going for the revision process. And revision, as such, in general, only comes into picture when you have an interview scheduled very soon. So if you are thinking on those lines, then revision actually makes sense. Otherwise, the lead code daily challenges will keep you abreast with the various concepts that we have in DSA Algo. Can you please share the list that I have created? Sure, Chandra, I'll share those on the GitHub repo itself. And this brings me to the end of today's session. I think we are good to go now. We'll definitely have more such sessions if you feel like in future. And Deepal, I'll get in touch with you for sharing your Gmail ID where I can send you the gift card.
Sure.
Thanks, guys, for joining in.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
Same.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.